I see. How about the no-code aspect of this thing? Are you going to provide any kind of sort of a no-code tools that would allow to non-tech people who could be able to train their models or evaluate the models or check the models, select the models, add in more data, or whatever things in the green sort of a part. Do you have any intention, or are you already sort of doing this kind of no-code solution as a company to provide solution for businesses as well?
Yeah, so that's a new area that company like ours are working on, right? It's in terms of building no-code solutions on top of AI. Uh, Most of these solutions are still not publicly available for direct usage. It's more as like enterprise solutions that companies like us work directly with enterprises and give them on. But soon, us and many other players will also be making it direct no code for developers and young engineers to start playing with. That's likely to come up soon. But one area that people can play around with now is again on the base models, right? OpenAI has its own GPT builder, right? Now, the step to learn would be first play around with ChatGPT, understand prompt engineering, understand various kinds of prompt engineering that is available on ChatGPT to make it better. That would be the first step, right? This is just on the ChatGPT UI. Even including things like ChatGPT has enabled uh, the GPT-4V, the Vision API as well now, right? Like where you can analyze images, you can analyze large CSVs, all that, right? That would be the first step to start learning. Uh, the second step would probably be to use things like GPT Builder, right? GPT Builder allows to build. It's almost like we can think of it as a no-code tool to build a base GPT, right? It's to create, like as it says, like to create our own GPT versions on top of ChatGPT, still using public internet data, right? Now, GPT Builder is again a very new feature, right? It was released a month ago by OpenAI, which allows us to build custom GPTs on top of ChatGPT, right? This is completely UI driven, right? It's not coding at all. Uh, and Amazon has launched AWS Q yesterday, so I haven't got to play around with it yet, but that's as new as yesterday. That seems to be a no-code tool as well. So this is on, if you go into AWS reInvent website, you may find the article that they launched last night around Amazon Q. So that is an area that young engineers can play around with. And then it's likely that many companies like ours would soon release uh, platforms on which you can build on top of GPT with your data, feeding in your prompts, tune it quite a bit, inject other instructions, build a feedback loop. So that's likely to come up in the near future as well.
I see, I see. That's very useful for us.
Mhm.
So, as like we are reaching to the end of our session, I would request for your suggestion. What would you suggest for all the startups who are joining the Startup Weekend in Yangon for the coming December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd?
I think the first one, or probably the only most important one, is to ensure that there's a right product market fit, right? Like uh, I'm an engineer. I started off as a developer. My initial part was in like large companies like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and the latter part was in startup areas. So uh, I think ensuring that when you're in a startup that you're really solving a customer problem and there is a genuine product market fit for a market that is actually large, right? It's a market that you feel you can address, you can solve a problem for them, you can make things better, you can make their productivity and quality better. So addressing that fit is going to be really important. That is the number one criteria. And as technologists, sometimes we get more swayed by technical coolness, right? It's like, if I can call that, it's like to do what is technically cool or interesting rather than something that is genuinely solving a problem for a large market, right? So that's something that as technologists we need to be careful for and watch out for. That's one part. And if I can add another one, the second one would be solid execution, right? Uh, I think most startups succeed because of execution, not just by conceptualization. So the conceptualization is definitely important, and that is something that is required at a minimum level, right? It's like if it is not a right product market fit, then the opportunity goes away right there, right? But to really leverage the opportunity, there needs to be super strong execution, right? Because what we generally see is there is a lot of focus on uh, conceptualizing the right idea, getting the right product in, all that. And then it goes into building it the right way, but also ensuring that day-to-day execution on getting things done is really there, right? So it's unlikely that the idea that we came up with is something that is uniquely powerful and no one else has that idea, right? It's like that's where ensuring that we really execute well is going to be a key part as well to succeed as a startup. And everything that you put in here is all like additional value adds that are super important, like having the drive to get things done. To me, motivation, teamwork, business relation, all of these go along with the execution part, right? It's like uh, starting from the founders, the founding team, and all staff of a startup have to have a very high level of motivation, right? Because a startup is going to have like many challenges that a large enterprise is not going to have, right? So it's the motivation and the belief in eventual success, that is what will have to drive the team. And that's where teamwork, business relations, any kind of networking, all that support, leveraging the support ecosystem, being aware of the environment, ensuring that we are adapting to the environment when it is needed. And that in a way goes back to the product market fit as well. It's not just enough to ensure having a product market fit for today's environment, but more for future, right? Like when we talk about no code and AI, uh, most businesses are not using them yet, right? But that is a big area that can impact in future, right? So that could be a big opportunity area, right? So factoring in all of that and ensuring that uh, the team is really driven and motivated, aligned with the vision, aligned with a goal, and executing uh, towards success. So that's what would be key for startup success.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all the details, information that you're providing, and at the same time, the motivation and the suggestion as well. I like the part about the shiny object because we tech people tend to sort of get distracted by the shiny objects, but in reality, the customers and the problems are more important than sort of the ideas of whatever for us to be successful in business. So that's a very sort of a good advice for us. Thanks so much for sort of giving us all the advices. Hope to see you soon in the coming social weekend as well. အဲ့တော့ဒီနေ့ကတော့ဒီမှာပဲကျွန်တော်ကြလိုက်ပါကျေးဇူးများတင်ပါတယ်ခင်ဗျာ
Thank you. Bye.